What if enough is not just a number, but a spiritual revolution? Today, in a world obsessed with more money, more status, more stuff, Catholic tradition invites us to ask a different question. What if the most radical freedom comes not from abundance, but from knowing when to stop accumulating? Welcome to Faith Hacks. In this episode, we explore the theology of enough. We'll discover why the pursuit of enough is at the heart of both ethical stewardship and the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, and how this quest echoes ancient Christian wisdom. We'll see that Catholic teaching doesn't just tolerate the idea of sufficiency, it celebrates it. The Church calls each of us to be stewards, not owners of everything we have. But what does that really mean in a culture that prizes accumulation? Let's begin with a deceptively simple question. What is enough? For some, enough is the absence of anxiety. For others, it's freedom from burdensome work or the ability to give generously. But in the Christian tradition, enough is not measured by wealth, but by trust. Trust that God provides and that our value is not defined by what we possess. Scripture is filled with reminders. Give us this day our daily bread. Not a 10-year supply, not luxury, just what we need today. The Israelites in the desert received manna, enough for each day, no more. Those who hoarded found it spoiled by morning. This lesson is clear. Sufficiency is a spiritual discipline, not a limitation. Catholic social teaching frames stewardship as a sacred trust. Everything we have, time, talents, resources, is a gift to be managed wisely, not clung to. The Catechism teaches that material goods are destined for the common good, not personal stockpiling. Ownership is always provisional. Ultimate security is found in God alone. But why does our culture so often resist this? Why does enough sound like settling? The answer lies in the spiritual dangers of excess. Greed, envy, and consumerism promise happiness, but deliver emptiness. St. Paul warns, "The love of money is the root of all evils." The relentless pursuit of more distracts us from our true calling, love of God and neighbor. Here's where the FIRE movement enters the picture. On the surface, FIRE is about financial independence. But at its best, it's also about reclaiming time, purpose, and freedom from the treadmill of endless work and spending. In this way, FIRE echoes the gospel call to detachment, not as a rejection of the world, but as a path to greater joy and service. Catholic tradition honors voluntary simplicity. The saints practiced detachment not out of disdain for creation, but out of love for God. St. Francis of Assisi, St. Benedict, and countless others modeled lives where enough meant openness to God's will and radical generosity. But here is what most people miss. True freedom isn't found in how much you accumulate, but in how much you can let go. The theology of enough calls us to see material things as tools, not treasures. When we are no longer enslaved by desire for more, we become capable of real generosity. The joy of giving, of sharing with those in need, flows from a heart that trusts God's provision. The Catechism affirms, "The goods of creation are destined for the whole human race." When we live with enough, we make space for others. We recognize that our abundance is meant to become someone else's sufficiency. Practically, this means budgeting with a spirit of discernment. It means setting goals that reflect not just personal comfort, but the needs of family, community, and the poor. It means resisting the temptation to hoard and instead asking, how can I be a channel of God's gifts? Living the theology of enough is not about austerity for its own sake. It's about freedom. Freedom from anxiety, from comparison, from the endless race. It's about rest, Sabbath, and savoring what truly matters. It's about trusting that when we seek first the kingdom, everything else will be given as well. So whether you're drawn to FIRE for financial reasons or simply seeking deeper meaning in your daily life, remember, the Catholic tradition offers a vision of stewardship that is both countercultural and profoundly liberating. Enough is not a ceiling, it's a foundation. It's the beginning of gratitude, of solidarity, of true abundance. What would your life look like if you believed you already had enough? What might God do through you if you made space for generosity and trust? Thank you for joining us on Faith Hacks. If this episode challenged or inspired you, Subscribe for more weekly documentaries exploring the intersection of faith and daily living. May you discover the freedom and joy that comes from living the theology of enough.